Should you buy a Leica? Yeah. On second thought, I'll explain. Yeah, I know why you're here. You just search Leica on YouTube to justify your dream of owning one of these cameras someday. And most likely, someday soon. I was right here where you are, scared, alone, and searching. Usually you would seek out someone you respected, kind of like a parent or a teacher, but you don't want to go to them because they're just gonna tell you no. So you're here with me. And honestly, I know what you want. You're not here for me to tell you you're an idiot and move on. Oh, secretly, that's maybe what you want, but deep down, you know it to be true. You know you want a Leica. Now, I've been around the block and, oh, I've seen some cameras. Honestly, there's nothing quite like a Leica. Nothing quite like a Leica. Some cameras actually try to get close, but that little twinkle just isn't there. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that there's nothing quite like an image taken with one of these sexy film bodies, because honestly, that's a bunch of horse covered in gold leaf. This camera itself is not capable of taking better images. So if you think that's the truth, then it's not. But stay tuned, because we're gonna get into that. Now, where does one start with an icon like this? I think the first hurdle to overcome is the price. You might be looking to shell out a healthy 2 to 4K on one of these bodies. Whether it's an M4P or an M4 II, or even the very sexual M6, these hot bodies are getting even more valuable. Well, I'm not sure about the M5. It may still be the ugly duckling of the bunch. Only really loved by its mother, but even then, probably not. But overall, they are appreciating in value over time. Think of it as a mutual fund. Someday, maybe you can retire off one of these cameras. By the way, the M4P and the M4 II are basically the same thing as an M6, just without a light meter. And a few difference in frame lines. And if you're a rebel and you want an M5, that too had a light meter. Now, if you can look past the price factor, then it's smooth sailing from here. No worries whatsoever. So let's get into it. One thing that drew me to this camera in the first place, other than the instant street cred, was that it was a rangefinder. My first 35mm camera, the Electro 35, is a rangefinder, and I totally fell in love since that first prank. Personally, I prefer rangefinders. I like relying on those two little ghost patches to help me set and find the focus fast and accurately. And along with that rangefinder design comes the compact nature of the M system in general. Because you don't have that mirror slapping you in the face like your mom will when she finds out that you spent rent money on another film camera, it leaves room for a smaller lens. I'm sure you can put this camera in your cargo pants. Wait, has cargo pants come back into style yet? That small form factor is a huge plus when thinking about this camera. I love my Canon EOS 1N, but it's a beast of a camera. I don't always want to take it with me wherever I'm going. When I'm out taking photos, the M6 sits on my chest like a little purring kitty, or under my armpit like a little purring kitty, or in my man sack like a little No. Stop calling it a man sack, Caleb. Stop it. It's weird. The point is, this camera is small, portable, and not once has it ever been in my way while taking a photo. Honestly, the complete opposite. The reason I opted for an M6 over the other various M bodies was because of the light meter. Some people swear that it's not the best made Leica, but the light meter definitely makes life easy, and I'm easy. No. I like when things are easy. To be honest, it's not a fancy light meter, but it is super reliable. 2 arrows telling you in what direction to move your aperture ring. If your arrow is pointing to the right, move your aperture to the right. If you're overexposed and the arrow is pointing to the left, rotate your aperture to the left. Seriously? That's genius. But that takes me to the holy grail of this camera. The one main driving factor when looking to purchase a new film camera. The ability to be fully mechanical. The only reason that there is a battery is to operate the light meter. In the age of failing electronics. What? Trust me. Having a fully mechanical camera is almost a must. I recently had an EOS 1 scare. Boy, did I miss my Leica in that moment. One thing that might be odd in this whole mechanics department is how to load your film. It's not like your traditional open up the trunk and toss it in. The Leica M6 is famous for its rapid loading system. Sure, rapid depends on how much you practice, but honestly, it's really nice when you get the hang of it. Not the fastest I've ever been, but I blame the walk up here. Is it superior to your normal hatchback sedan? Well, you'll have to be the judge of that. You might think of me as an optimist, or, well, you might not think of me at all, which I get that, that's fair. But sometimes, even the best things could be better, like grilled cheese. No, grilled cheese just sucks. But in any case, I do have a few gripes about the M6, and a few of the M models in general. The first being, how close you can focus to a subject. This is just the nature of rangefinders in general, so it's not really Leica specific, but it's something to take in consideration. My Voigtlander 35mm color scope arc can only focus to 2.3 feet, or 0.7 meters for all you people on the wrong side of measurement history. Just kidding, I know Imperial sucks, but I'm born into this feet world. So if you want to do some close focus, non-macro work, maybe Leica's not your jam? The second is the viewfinder. When aiming the camera in a bright source, like the sun, more specifically when the sun is shining straight into your eyes, some of the Leica M mount cameras have a bit of a flaring issue in the viewfinder at specific angles. Sometimes it has been an issue for me, but usually I get around it. Maybe just recompose. I'm not too picky. I don't like mustard. At the same time, you can send your camera in for an MP upgrade, which is their newer viewfinder found on recent film cameras. It has an anti-glare coating on it. So really, it could not be a big deal. I mean, I upgrade things all the time. I just upgraded from 5 gigs to 200 gigs on my iCloud account. Now, the last gripe on my list of gripes is actually a fundamental flaw in the M6 design, and I've touched on this briefly before in my Route 66 video. It's about the bumpers on the side of the M6. If removed or fall off, they let light into the camera, resulting in light leaks on all of your images. See basically any photo shot on 35mm in my Route 66 video. I really don't know why Leica made the camera this way. It makes no sense. That's why I'm rocking a wonderful piece of gaff tape to fix the issue. For now. I know, it's like driving a wrecked Tesla, but I'm really having a hard time sending it in. I can't be away from my baby too long. I'm still a new mother. Now back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video about how your photos suck. No, I mean how the Leica won't make your photos better. I've said it before on this channel about how lenses are the key to SAP, sexy ass pics. And that is what you're buying into, the lens lineup. If you haven't gone any further than looking up how much Leica cameras cost, you should. Their lenses also cost some major clams, but there's a reason. They look great. Voigtlander and Zeiss do make some solid lenses for a much lower price than Zeiss does. I love my Voigtlander color scope R lens. But whether you're rocking a Zeiss, Voigtlander, or Leica lens, you really can't go wrong. And there are older thread mount lenses that you can use for this M system as well, so go for it. I'm sure they're great. I don't have one, but I'm sure they're great. Overall, the lenses are going to make your photos sharp, sexy, supple, salivating, sensual, and all the S words you can think of. I've never really loved my 35mm photos until I picked up the Leica and slapped a color scope R lens on the front of it, but that just might be me.
Ooh, that's nice. Look at that. Just the tip.
Wow, you're a beast.
I have to confess to you, this chapter is gonna have some super duper hippie vibes. And if you're someone who likes data and qualifying factors like that, you may not understand me at all. But this is where I go all out to tell you how I feel deep down inside. This camera is exhilarating. Once it's in your hands, you know no other camera. This is the one for you, the only one, forever. I imagine this is what holding your newborn baby feels like. You wanna protect it forever, or until that little shit turns 18 and decides to leave home. For better or for worse, when I take a picture with the Leica, I know it's an amazing photo, or at least I feel amazing taking the photo. I can go through an entire roll in a matter of moments, which maybe is not good under these new film prices. Okay, let's just forget about that. Every photo feels right. It's meant to be. I take this camera almost everywhere with me. It's the camera that I can't live without. I once decided to take another camera on a recent road trip, and I was thinking of my Leica the entire time. The simplest action, like advancing to the next frame, is pure bliss. Most cameras, when you advance to the next frame, you just advance it. It's just a lever. No big deal. But with the Leica, there's a slight resistance once reaching the end of the advance. That resistance is everything. It's the small little details that make the experience worth it. It lets me know that I've reached my full potential in life. And now it's time for a new photo. I get it. It's hard to explain if you've never really held or shot a Leica before. You might think I'm crazy, insane, even manic. But I swear to you, this camera is my one and my only 35mm forever. Okay, fine. I'll be tempted by another, but nothing will compare. If somehow my M6 burst into flames, leaving my hands scarred and disfigured, I wouldn't think twice about getting another Leica. Not one bit. I'd walk straight into the closest eBay store and say, "One Leica M6, please." And yeah, that is how it works. Now, if you've made it this far in this video, congratulations. You are one of 3 that can stand my vibrant personality. But after all this said, do you feel that same way about a camera that you are rocking currently around your neck? And if the answer is yes, why listen to me? I made this video because I love this camera, and I'm not trying to sell you a luxury brand. I never thought I would actually own a Leica. Originally, I wanted the Voigtlander Bessa R4M, but something clicked in me the first time I held an M6. It was much more than a red dot. My life flashed before my eyes, and I saw years of joyful photography ahead of me. So, I'll ask it again. Should you buy a Leica? And the answer is, I don't give a shit. Do what you want, boo.